Hey guys, it's Colton Lindsay here with Winning the Inner Game. I have an awesome guest on today with the Winning Series interviews. Before we hop into that, I want to make sure you guys check out the links in the description. Check out fearlessagent.com. There's a free 45-minute webinar you guys go check out. And also make sure to check out Mojo Selling Solutions. Today, I'm bringing back my good friend from Arizona, Mr. Joshua Smith from GSDmode. Josh, man, how you been?
Hey, man, doing awesome, brother. Well, honor to be here, man. It's always fun to rap with you and roll with you, dude.
Yeah, dude. So it's been a few months since we've been on each other's podcasts. So tell me, what have you been up to over the last, let's just say 90 days? What have you been working on?
Really, I mean, that's a tough question, dude. I'm finally at that point in my life, and I have had some buddies and mentors that would say this years ago, and I wouldn't understand it. But when people start asking you what you do for a living or what you do for your job and you don't know how to answer it, it's kind of a funky place to be, right? So, I'll just kind of walk you through a kind of brief on each thing that we're doing. So really expanding the hell out of a real estate team. I don't want to say I got complacent, but I kind of got complacent in the last couple of years. Our team was growing. My real estate business was growing, 10%, 15% year over year. And it was just like, okay, that's doing good. Let me just get out of that. I'm cool with the growth there. I accepted the growth instead of trying to push it to the next level and started focusing on other businesses, which was good. But I relit a fire relit under my ass, dude. So, now our focus is hardcore back in our real estate team, growing the hell out of that, which now we're able to, of this year, we'll actually literally have doubled our production in the last 18 months, which is just insane at the level that we're at. So I'm really pushing hard on that right now. And then I've got 5 other companies, dude. So of course, growing our podcast, our GSDmode podcast. We're relaunching an apparel line. I started, my wife got me this GSDmode shirts and like a GSDmode hat for my birthday one year with the podcast. And then all of a sudden people were just like, dude, I want to buy a shirt. I want to buy a shirt. Well, not really thinking about it. I started creating shirts and my trademark attorney's like, hey, dude, you don't have that trademarked. And there's other GSDs out there. Like this is you could get, it's not just a slap on the hand. You can get yourself in serious trouble here. So we had to pull everything off, dude. And, get that trademark, which took a year. The trademarks office hates curse words, and so the name like get shit done. It was a challenge getting it pushed through, but we got that pushed through. So we're launching the apparel line full on. I mean, like hats, hoodies, sweatshirts, t-shirts, sweatpants, even eventually water bottles and journals, and really building all of that out right now. So hoping to launch that before Christmas of 2016. I've got my software company that now September will be a year old. So that's pretty gnarly. And now we're finishing our own back-end CRM that'll be released into September. So that's been pretty crazy. I mean, we've taken on over 700 clients in less than 12 months, which has been pretty gnarly ride. And then now we just started 2 new companies that are dived into the health and fitness space. One is we work with Optimal Health physicians all throughout the country. We're really their marketing reps, if you will, on that. And then starting our own health and fitness supplement line. So Optimized Life Nutrition, our first, it's going to be a nootropic, which helps people focus. It's for energy focus and eliminating brain fog and helping enhance memory. So our nootropic's going to hit the market here hopefully in about 8 weeks. So
Did you know what helped me eliminate brain fog a lot in my life? Is when I stopped partying all the time. That really eliminated a lot of that fog,
Yeah, well, dude, I mean, absolutely, alcohol kills you right with it. But one of the reasons alcohol does, I mean, not only does it slow down your cognitive skills, but it also increases your estrogen levels. The number one symptom of brain fog in men is low testosterone. So there's a lot of other symptoms that happen there. So, and it's a legit issue. I don't care if you eat all organic, what you do, like there's certain shit that we live in a chemical laced environment. You go to the grocery store, there's 10,000 chemicals on the shelves. Like you can't get away from it. Right. So
you take a shower, and if you're not filtering, I mean, you're getting chemicals and toxins into your body just from showers.
Dude, so the sun hits your dashboard and certain gases are emitted that you're breathing in. Like you can't escape it.
Nope.
You try to go to the extreme that you want, but you can't escape it. And I had a lot of resistance to it because I was trying to escape it and just go the full on organic route, which I still am. Just because I feel a big difference energy wise when I eat organic. But you get to a point where you can't combat it. You got to combat chemicals somewhat with chemicals. And so It's just what exists, dude.
It is. It's the world we live in right now. So I want to back up. So you're talking about you're doing 10-15% growth in year in your real estate business. Did you feel like you said complacent? Did you just get kind of bored with that, or what was the deal? Like what you just lost the drive to increase it? What was going on?
Yeah, dude. I mean, for sure, right? So I mean, I've been at this now. This is my 11th year, grinding. It just got to the point where, I mean, it was still exciting, and there's still fun parts to it, but it just didn't, like, I didn't get that rush and that high that I used to get. That it didn't challenge me like other things used to challenge me, and a lot of it was I was just looking at it from the wrong lens. Because I was trying to grow it in the same way instead of finding the right leadership team. Because now, I'm out there just growing my leadership team that's going out there. Like, I'm creating the leaders internally, I'm creating the leaders, which is a hell of a lot of fun, dude. I mean, that now has really brought that rush back. But yeah, I mean, that part of it, plus, dude, you grind for so many years. I mean, it was my first 7 years in the business, dude, not one day off, no vacations, just grinded, dude, to build what we built. And yeah, so it was a lot of things where it just, personally just kind of fucking mentally tired and physically tired and wanted to go out there and try other avenues. And I had other opportunities that were approaching that I couldn't say no to, that I had to go in and build. I mean, obviously I could say no to, but I didn't want to say no to. You got to know what to say yes to and what to say no to. And the reality is, you guys, is there's never perfect timing. Right? Like, sometimes you just have to figure it out. Like, dude, starting this health and the optimized life nutrition, this is like the worst possible timing of my life to be starting a new company. But my business partners, when they came up with this, dude, and hit me up, they were going to find somebody, right? So for me, and they were the perfect guys. One of my business partners is a writer for Ironman magazine. The other one, ex-professional bodybuilder, and the dude's just like the most brilliant biochemist I've ever met. I knew that I couldn't go out there and duplicate this partnership. So sometimes you just got to say yes and then go out there and grind 120-hour work weeks, which is, the life I'm living right now, dude. Me, my developers, everybody's like sleeping in the office, dude. We're just, it's a crazy, crazy road right now. But yeah, I mean, all those things happen, dude. And then sometimes we just lose clarity, or I got to a point where I didn't really know what I wanted to do in my real estate business. I lost, like, for the longest time, it was, hey, I want to create the #1 real estate team in the world. And then it got to a point of, like, do I really want that? Is that my dreams, or is that, just me? Is that the ego? And I'm just trying to, and I kind of lost clarity on what I wanted to do there. But taking that break, not really a break. I mean, don't get me wrong, guys. I mean, we've still been growing every single year. Last year we did 80 million in production, the year before 60 million in production. So it's still been growing. But taking a little bit of that break out of it gave me a whole new sense of clarity and a whole new sense of drive with it.
So you said in the last 18 months you've doubled your real estate business, right?
Yeah. So
where were you 18 months ago?
Yeah. So I did like 60 million the year before last, and then last year we did 80 million. And one of the big shifts was, I don't want to say that I'm not blaming it on a brokerage or a company, and it was, I guess, more up here than anything. But we were with a franchise model that made it very difficult to recruit. So 18 months ago, I decided to make the shift to just a real local kind of mom and pop, no franchise. Nobody that's listening to this podcast would even know of them or know what they do. But it eliminated a lot of those fees and a lot of that structure, a lot of that resistance we had for hiring. So we've been able to go out there and triple our team size as far as agents. When I left 18 months ago, it'd actually be 2 years Halloween. We officially left Halloween, so whatever that math time is, we left with like 13 agents, and right now I've got like 30 actual producing, selling agents, and then we have numerous part-time and, other people that we're onboarding right now. We're actually hiring 8 agents a month right now. So changing that environment's been critical. And there's some other things that we've done internally, which we'll talk about, that have been critical with that move.
At what point did you realize it wasn't just about getting listing and buyer contract signs, but it was about getting listing contracts, buyer contracts, and agents recruited? That third piece there.
Yeah. So when you step out of production in your business, right, and this is where a lot of team leaders go wrong, right? Because they think that you can't replace, you're not going to find anybody to replace your production. Like Colton, like, dude, you're selling a lot of, like, no, you're not going to hire an agent that's going to become Colton, and you don't want to, right? Because then they're gonna leave and become your competition, and not that that's a bad thing, but I always love seeing other people go out there and create their own teams and have success, but they're not gonna be you, so and for so many years, dude, I dealt one of the scary things about real estate agents, right, is we're very optimistic people, which is dope. Like, we want to be optimistic people. We're jumping into an industry where, like, okay, we're leaving all certainty, we're leaving all comfort, we're leaving all guarantees to jump into somewhere where maybe we get paid. I don't know, dude. Like, it's this massive risk. So we're very optimistic people. The bad part about that was we make decisions based on optimism. You know, like, it's like, oh, well, if I can just get my average agent production up to here, which I know we can do in the next 12 months, this is where we'll be. And I made unrealistic projections, not based on the facts, you know? So in the last couple of years, you know, 2 years, 18 months, whatever, I just woke up and it's like, okay, if my average agent production is 1.8 deals per agent per month, that's what it is. Quit trying to beat your head against the wall, trying to get them up to 3. Not saying to not train your people and offer them the environment, the training and the tools and everything that they need and have to get up to 3, but that's their choice. You can't control that. So I'm going to make the decisions based on this. So, like, to get to where I want to go, I know, dude, I'm going to have to fucking recruit 250 agents on my team here in Phoenix Metro to get to where I want to go. I mean, we're going to become a brokerage essentially on the team within a brokerage. But it's and then the other thing too is I think a lot of us team leaders do, we have this like mental thought process of, it's like an ego thing. We want a small, elite, high producing team because it's an ego thing. Why does it matter? Right? Here's your goals. If it takes you 10 people or 50 people, who cares? You're still getting paid on every deal. It's no different to you. It becomes an ego thing. Your egos crush more success than anything else that exists out there, man. So, dude, it's all about when your team's like you said with growth, you know, is it listings, sign contracts? I mean, all that's important. I mean, I'm not this guy that listings the name of the game. To me, it's closing the name of the game. I actually focus more in the buy side business. We're 60% buyers, 40% sellers inside my business today with that. But to me, the name of the game is all about just hiring the right people, dude, from your leadership team to the agents to the culture. And
so what does it take then to go from, because when you're at, you know, maybe a $5 or $10 million a year, you know, volume business, you can double that pretty easily, right? But how do you double a 60 and 80 $1 million a year sales volume? How do you double that in the next year? How do you do that?
You know, less than 2 years ago, I mean, we rounded out the year at 60 million. This year we'll round out the year 130, 140 million. I mean, we're cranking out about $12 million months right now. So, so a few things, right? Number one, you got to make sure you have the right people in place. And I'm not saying the right agents. One difficult thing about hiring agents is, dude, there's no right way to, like, people are, you know, with the interview process, dude, I've had so many people, I'm like, oh, this guy's going to be, or this girl's going to be a rock star. They're going to be amazing. And then they massively disappoint me, and vice versa, dude, where I'm like, oh, this guy or girl's going to be a rock star, or they're going to suck and I shouldn't have hired this person. And they shock the hell out of me. So, you know, agents are a critical part of it. Don't get me wrong there. What I'm talking about is the internal on your leadership team, because you can't go out there and do this kind of production on your own. So, like, who's your team manager? You know, like for us, like, okay, with my team manager to my head of agent development and my recruiter, all those are just absolutely critical positions that we have to share all the same vision. We all have to communicate the same way and be on the same page. And that becomes uber critical to the point now, dude, where each of them internally, like, we all share the same coach. So I'm coached. Each of them individually are coached, and then all of us as a group together are coached. You know, right? So, I mean, I'm spending well into the 6 figures a year, making sure that myself, not just myself, but also my leadership team is coached on the proper level. Then from there, dude, again, we've just gotten hardcore more so. I mean, I've always been about the numbers, but now we're more hardcore about the numbers than we've ever been. So we know now we have our daily greatness tracker that everybody in our organization fills out, that rolls up into a weekly tracker. Then we have, of course, what we call our scoreboard, which are closing. So we know exactly how many reach outs, how many conversations, and how many appointments need to be made every single day to hit our goal. So we always know exactly what happens today. This is what our business is going to look like in 90 to 120 days. So we're paying attention to this every single damn day. So I might have to go to my head of agent development and be like, dude, our open houses are down. I need you to get on the phone with every single agent on the team today and make sure that every single one of them has an open house lined up for next weekend, right? Because, like, in the summertime, for example, it's hot as hell here in Phoenix. It's like 110 degrees. Nobody wants to do open houses this time of year, you know, right? So So it's grinding them, man. I mean, it's a few things that we do is, so we have our weekly team meeting, which I still love doing. I can't do as many of them as I like to do because I'm traveling a lot and whatever. But when I'm in town, I personally do those. So that's just hardcore strategy. Try to get the people pumped up. It's 1 hour a week that we do those. Then we have our self-directed, what we call our self-directed work groups, right? So we break these down into groups of 10, 15 max, but of 10 is ideal. And then inside there, based on every one of our teammates, it's okay, what are the three commitments, your 3 key indicators, your 3 commitments? So essentially, how many reach outs, how many conversations, how many appointments are you going to set this week to move the needle forward to hit your goal? And what we found, dude, is public declaration equals manifestation. It's like, Colton, if you were going to go to the gym this morning, you may or may not go. But if you're like, dude, Josh, I'm going to meet you there at 4 a.m., you're going to get your ass out of bed because we don't break commitments to other people, but we break them to ourselves. So they publicly declare those to the group. Right? And then we assign accountability partners every single week within our team to keep each other accountable. So then I can go to anybody in my team and just be like, hey, dude, how's your accountability partner doing this week on their commitments? That tells you all you need to know, right? So, but then each week we start that with, okay, how did you do on your commitments last week? Right? Did you hit them? Did you fall short? Where are you at? Oh, man, I fell short. Okay, no worries. We all have times when we fall short in our commitments. What do you feel that got in the way? How can we as a group help you make sure that you hit your commitments this week, or have you chosen to abandon your commitments? And we've really made it do with the team. It used to always be about Joshua Smith and Joshua Smith's goals. And then I realized, dude, none of this can be about me. Right? It's got to be about them. It's my job as the team leader to facilitate an environment that helps people accomplish their goals. So if I help enough people accomplish their goals, I'm going to accomplish mine. And it used to be about mine because I wanted a small, elite, high producing team. I fired a dude one year. Check this out, bro. I fired a dude because he did 34 transactions one year and I had a minimum of 37. I love that. So I'd love to have that dude on my team now, but I'm like, dude, like, what? You ain't leveling up. You don't deserve the right to be. I'm like, get out of here. You ain't GSD, bitch. Right? So which is just stupid. All that shit's ego, right? So realize, well, if their numbers, if their goals, my job is to help them hit their goals, right? And then based on what their goals are, then that shows me how many people I need to hire to hit mine. So like every single year we do, everybody breaks down what their yearly goals are. Like, what does success in real estate mean for you and your family? Don't make this about commission checks. Don't make this about closings. I apologize, dude. I'm gonna get my formal dining room. Like the sun must have whipped behind the clouds. Right, I don't know if it's too dark.
So again, I'm probably dark too, man. It's all right.
So okay. So we do a vision board about, okay, hey, what in the next 12 months, so let's just think of 12 months at a time, not 5 years, not 10 years, next 12 months, what does having success in real estate mean for you and your family? And we want to create a vision board around that. And then it's okay, what does it take monetarily to create that? Like maybe you want to take your family on 2 vacations, your wife's car is kind of on the brink and you want to get her new car. Okay, what does all this look like? Okay, it costs you $100,000 to sustain your current lifestyle now. To add these new things, it's going to be an extra $20,000. So you need to make $120,000 in the next 12 months, right? So then everything is aligned around that. So then we break it down because we know exactly how many reach outs, how many conversations, and how many appointments made. And those are our 3 key indicators that we focus on, and only those 3 things need to happen daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly to hit your goal. And then we just keep ratcheting down on those, dudes. So the conversation becomes, hey man, you're at 60% of your goal. Here's what your goal is that you set for yourself. Here's why. So we're always having to remind them of their vision board, right? It's just really a self-discovery process constantly. Got 2 decisions here. You can either abandon your goals and go pick take off 40% of things on your vision board that you said you wanted to create for your family. So you can abandon those, or you can choose to step up your game and make those a reality. We're not here to judge or dictate which route you're going to go. That's only up to you. We're just here to help you get to where you want to go if you choose to do the work.
So most people can't figure that out for themselves. How have you been able to figure that out for 30 other individuals? You know what I mean? The average real estate professional or even business owner has that hard time anchoring that the goal's not the money. The goal is the life that you create. And what does that life look like? Most people don't get that. So how do you get 30 individuals to get that concept?
Dude, it's all this stuff, bro. Like I was just interviewed by Inc. magazine on their Inc. radio show, and they're like, dude, like, holy crap, like how does you with your routine, how does this, like, how does this happen? Everybody thinks that you're listeners probably thinks that you're just this freak of nature. I'm like, it's daily work for 12 years straight. Right, you don't start there, but same thing with our agents. It's daily work. I mean, everybody, it's daily discipline. It's your internal culture. It's your internal talk. It's daily reminders, and what we do. It's like we always have 90-day challenges, 90-day non-business challenges. So right now, and it could be whatever. It could be, hey, you're going to try to give up smoking or give up sugar or whatever. And we just create that inside our culture. So, but when it comes to that, so to answer your question with that, so it's internal daily work. So I don't want anybody to think that it's like one special meeting that we have and all this shit's created. So it's internal. Like that's why I said that your leadership team is so critical, because we all have to live, eat, and breathe this stuff. On a daily basis, and all be speaking the same internal language to all of our people constantly. So that's the importance
So
of that.
It's a compound effect then. I mean, every single day doing it little by little, and then it adds up, day after day.
Well, and then when it comes to our business planning, dude, like we don't just spend a meeting on this. Yeah, right. Like starting at the end of October. I mean, literally from the end of October till kind of mid-December. I mean, so we're literally like 5-6 weeks on this stuff, pounding them through it, and spending time on goals of with our GSDmode model that we have is what is the outcome that you want? What are the problems and obstacles in the way? What's the must-do action steps to eliminate the problem and obstacles in every aspect of your life? So we walk them through a platform, if you will, of getting clear on what you want in your marriage, getting clear on what you want with your health and relationship with the kids and you and your business. All comes together, and we spend about 6 full weeks, dude, going through this process with our people every year.
That's awesome, man. So what's 2017 look like for you guys? What's the goal?
Yeah, so the goal is 300 million in gross volume sales, which that'll put us about.
And that's just in Phoenix. That's in the Phoenix thing.
Yeah, I mean, Phoenix, dude, I'm blessed to be in a big market, dude. We have over 1 million rooftops. You got 500 people a day moving here. I mean, so we've got a lot of, there's no like shortage of rooftops, dude. Yeah, I mean, there's, depending on the month, but on average about 8,000 to 9,000 home sales a month. So yeah, you and I were kind of talking about this off air before, but the whole expansion model, not saying that won't come at some point in the future, but to me, like I'm a big believer in, dude, you maximize, you hit your full capacity, before you bring on something new. And we have a lot to grow here. I mean, I truly think that we can get to over 5,000 home sales a year. Because dude, that's only 5% of the market share, in Phoenix Metro.
Would you say that you're growing with need versus want?
Somewhat. Now when you start a team, you always grow out of necessity, never out of want. You want a team because you don't have a business until you have a team. So you have to want a team, or hopefully you want a team if you want a business. But you do it when you're bursting out of the seams out of necessity. But our model's transitioned and shifted. So like things like we don't offer and we don't give and we don't guarantee anybody leads. Right? We teach them how to fish for themselves. So at this point, I mean, there's certain points. So when it comes to agent recruiting, all of that is just part of our model. So we don't wait to hire agents out of necessity.
You're just hiring all the time.
Yep. Our right now we know exactly who we want. We've broken that down. We know who we want. We know what we're looking for, and it's 8 hires a month is what we're attacking right now. Because you're always going to have 1 or 2 agents leaving a month. Right. So how long does it take to onboard them, get them producing? What does their average production look like? How long are they on with you on average? And then we got to stay ahead of the game, right? So, and a lot of team leaders and brokers never really grasp it. But to be a great team leader and a great broker, you got to think of this just like no different than your listing business. It's like the best recruiters were like the best listing agents, right? Because they're used to daily prospecting, daily appointments, and you just got to always stay ahead of the curve. You can't go out there and rack up 20 listings and then stop and then think those are just going to sell. Like, dude, at some point it's going to go away, right?
So at what point did you realize, hey, I got to bring in a full-time recruiter into my business?
So if you're an entrepreneur, right, and most real estate agents are not entrepreneurs, right? Like they're solopreneurs, they're whatever. So and there's no judgment there, right? But I'm an entrepreneur, dude. I literally, you guys, I haven't personally sold a house in about 4 years. I would get rid of my real estate license if I could. If I didn't have to have it in the state of Arizona to collect a commission check from my agents, I wouldn't have it, because to me, it's such a pain in the ass to do renewal hours. Like, I'd rather just not even have it, right?
Mhm.
But I'm forced to have it. So I look at this like I'm a real estate agent because I've had to become a real estate agent to create what I wanted to create. So, but I've always looked at this from the lens of an entrepreneur. I was blessed. My father was owned and operated health clubs for 30 years. He actually works on my team now too. He retired and got board retirement and works on my team as an agent. So my father's always been an entrepreneur. And so I grew up in that space, which was a blessing. But as an entrepreneur, you're always trying to eliminate capacities. Right. So in the beginning, you're wearing all the hats. You're taking out your own trash to doing your own paperwork. You're like wearing all your hats until, okay, hey man, I hit a capacity. I'm closing 5 deals a month consistently, but I can't get to that 6th or 7th because I have no more hours in a day. Okay, so then what's the best way to fire myself? How can I afford to fire myself? What's the most effective and efficient way to fire? You're always looking at, if you want to become a great leader, you're always looking to replace yourself. But you got to replace yourself smart, right? So first you hire your first admin, because you can go out there, even work with buyers as a 50, 75, maybe $100 an hour activity, depending on how your setup is and your average commission, where paperwork's $15 an hour, right? So I hired off all my admin. And got that going, right? And then 6 months after that, I'm in need for buyer's agents, right? I remember like it was yesterday, I got this call from a buyer, and I was 3 weeks booked out on my calendar, dude, from being able to show a buyer a house. So I'm like, shit. So I knew I was losing money at that table. So that's when I started hiring buyer's agents. And then I got to a point, like, listings is not the name of the game. I at least in my opinion, you can argue with me, you can, whatever, those of you listening, I don't care, right? There's 1,000 ways to success, so we can all have our own opinions on this. However, there will become a time in your own personal business where they're the best use of your own personal time. So it got to a point where I go, okay, I can handle 75 listings all by myself. I can only handle 10 buyers. But I didn't focus my full attention onto just listings and make that switch until I had 6 buyer's agents. So I had 6 full-time buyer's agents working all of my buyers. I truly believe you should never have less than 50% of your side of your business, less than that of buy side, right? Why? Because, dude, if we think about it, this business is a long-term relationship business, right? Where do you get your referral customers from? Who are the raving fans? Dude, it's all the buyers. Everybody just thinks the now. It's like, oh, well, now all my problems are solved if I get more listings because it's less headache and I get my weekends back. They're not thinking of the 7 years, 10 years ahead of them with that. So we always try to keep our business, like right now, like I said, it's 60% buyers, 40% sellers, just for that long-term. I mean, I'm 34 years old, dude. I plan on grinding this shit till I'm 90, right? Till God takes away the ability, I'm not going anywhere. So I'm down doing listings. Well, then it gets to a point where, okay, I could take so many listings and I'm doing all of this. And then again, you're always trying to fire yourself. You're always trying to hit the next capacity. So I'm like, okay, I can go on a listing, right? Go out there, get this listing, and maybe that listing gets me a couple referrals, couple other sales. So let's say that time and money investment gets me 4 deals. Or I can spend that same amount of time, energy, and money hiring an agent to join my team. And that agent over the life of my team might close 50 deals. And even after splits, it's a way better use of my time. So at that time, then I decided to start transitioning out of the listing side of the business. And all this, you guys, it's not like overnight. This took 7 years, right? So you got to understand this. So I'm transitioning slowly out of the listing business, having listing agents come on and recruiting more and more and more and more for 7 years, did that. And then for 3 years, I'm literally recruiting agents, training agents, and just doing that end of it. I become the recruiter and the coach for our team and just kind of growing the team step fully out of production. But same thing, I got to the point where I had like 30 agents or 30 overall agents, let's say 15 producing and 30 total agents on the team, though, whatever. And when I say producing agents, that means a full-time producing agent, right? So I'll take on part-time agents. Like, for example, I have a high school guidance counselor right now. That's a full-time, she does that full-time. She closes like 6 deals a year. She needs my team because of the back end support, but I'm not giving her leads. She doesn't take up coaching time, right? So it's a win-win because we solve a need for her. So we have a lot of those too, right? That we don't give leads to and whatever, and it just creates a win. But I got to the point where it's the same thing, dude. I couldn't go on enough recruiting appointments and do that to the point, and also coach and field calls and train our agents. So I hired a recruiter. Right. So then I hired a recruiter. So then I was doing all the internal training and some of it too is, what do you love doing? You know, I could do just because you're a team leader. And what if you hate listings? It doesn't mean that you have to go on listing your team leader. Go work buyers and still be a team leader. Hire out the shit that you hate doing.
Yeah.
I hated recruiting. Like I just didn't enjoy it. Right. So, but I love training and mentoring my people. Right. So it got to the point where we made that transition. And then recently, just a few months ago, one of my top agents who's been with me for 4 years, and he's kind of done it all. He ran my Fannie Mae account, ran short sales, now ran a lot of traditional stuff for me. You know, he's in his 50s, and he's like, I'm kind of at the point where I'm sick of the day-to-day grind and being in the field. And he's brilliant when it comes to the agent training. So we decided at that point, okay, let's bring him on full-time for the agent training. So now I have my recruiter doing that. I've got my agent trainer. Then we have a team manager who oversees all the transaction management piece, all of our employees, and all of the systems. And so then my job essentially now at this point is just to oversee our leadership team. And to the point now where I've even employed an outside consultant who consults each of them weekly. He's the best recruiting and leadership coach in the planet. His name's John Cheplack. So he coaches them each 1 hour a week, right? Then all they're tracking, they're all accountable to him. And then he reports back to me. So I don't even have, they're not even personally reporting to me. And I thought that's powerful in multiple ways. They will share things with him that they'll never share with me. Right? I mean, it's a safer place, right? Plus, as a team leader, you guys got to understand, and this is why I'm always having outside speakers and people come speak to my team as well. Even if they're competition, if you say like, there's no such thing as competition, right? I mean, I had Colton come out and speak to my coaching clients. And he's got a coaching company, right? There's we live in this world of abundance. The scarcity mindset's such a sad thing. Yeah. But our voice gets tired, right? So like if I have Colton come into my team and talk to my agents, they're gonna be like, "Holy shit, it's a new voice." It's like, okay, you tell your kids something 100 times, they don't do it, but then they go to school and they hear the same thing from like a coach that they really look up to and respect, and it clicks and they get it. Yeah, right. So that's the power of that.
So you just. Hey, I'm maxed out here on buyers. I'm going to listing. I'm maxed out here on listings. I'm going to recruiting. I'm maxed out here on recruiting. I'm hiring a recruiter. Now I'm and then you just started launching into other businesses from that point. Like that's when you realized real estate was awesome to get you to where you want to go, but it wasn't the end game. Is that kind of what I'm getting from you?
Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those things. Like I have no ambition of ever leaving my real estate team or ever stopping my team. Or I mean, it's like my first love, dude. Right? Yeah. Like I'm not going to abandon it. But yeah, man. I mean, I love the process. I love starting new companies. I love the process of it. A dude hit me up the other day, and he's like, "Hey, I heard this stat that your average millionaire has 7 companies, and how do I start other companies?" And I'm like, "Yes, that's true." Right? However, you got to understand that they'll go one space. They'll go one place until that place is built up, until it doesn't need their day-to-day involvement. And they built a machine, a system, and built an amazing team there around them. And then they go on to the next one, right? So people that look at me, I have 6 companies today. Each one is been built up. Now I know the process. So it's a lot quicker and easier. Like I can duplicate what took me a decade before. I can duplicate that now in 6 months because I've gotten so good at it. But it's the same thing. And then two, all this stuff, I don't want to say like any of this stuff's happened intentionally. Like I got into real estate because I wanted to open up a health club. I wanted to raise some capital, and then I fell in love with real estate. Oops, sorry, hold on, my calendar popped up here.
It's okay.
So I got into real estate because I wanted to open a health club. I fell in love with real estate. Then I'm just grinding real estate. Next thing you know, I'm voted the 30 top realtor in America by the Wall Street Journal, NAR's 30 under 30. So I'm starting to be asked on a ton of different podcasts. God damn it. It's doing this. Sorry, dude. I got Chrome and Safari open. So
both the calendars are popping up at you.
So anyway, though, so I'm asked to start being on his podcast, speaking on stages, doing all this. And then next thing I know, my email box is getting filled up of, "Hey, dude, I love your style, man. Do you offer coaching?" And like literally for like 6 months, I'm just type back, no coaching. Now, when I was personal training or when I was running the gyms, I hated personal training, but I loved running the operation. And that's why I always told myself, I'm a doer, not a teacher, right? Yeah. And what I realized through the process is I just fucking hate one-on-one coaching. You know, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I love, I'm not a coach. I'm not somebody's accountability, you know, babysit, whatever, dude. Like, I love training, though, tactical, hardcore training. If you want to do something with it, cool. Like, I'm not going to babysit and hold your damn hand. If you don't want to create success for your own family, that's on you, dude. Don't grind my shit about it, right? Don't try to play me for your lack of damn success. So, so one-on-one was just, I tried it for a little while. Eventually one day I said yes and took on 40 coaching clients at $1,000 a month each. Because my real estate business by that time was at a point where, you know, I only really required 30 hours in my week. So I was fucking bored. Like, I'm not a guy, you know, I know everybody's different. And you know, like I had your buddy, AJ Maida, on my show, and he loves the 30-hour work week. Yeah. I'm like, dude, if I'm not working 80 hours a week, I don't know what the fuck to do with myself. I can't like relaxation vacation is pain for me, right? So I'm like looking for new things to do. So finally I'm like, okay, these people want to pay me money. So I took it on, but I was miserable. It wasn't scalable. I was miserable doing it. Just didn't enjoy it. I was repeating myself over and over and over, which I hate doing. But then I was like, okay, well, I don't want to abandon coaching. You know, what are the reasons that I hate it? You know, what are the reasons I don't like that's driving me crazy? And how can I create a win-win, which we've been able to do now, which is our 90-day mastery bootcamp, right? It's $1,000, but they get 40 hours of hardcore live coaching with me. They get way more. It costs them $60,000 one-on-one coaching with me to get in a program that they pay $1,000. But it's all group platform, group format. But then the cool thing about that company is I'm able to do 85% of the time, and then teach 15% of the time, which is what I found, like my magical, like my internal, like I have no ambition of becoming, you know, people sometimes like, oh, you're going to become the next Mike Ferry. I'm like, dude, I don't want to fucking be Mike Ferry. I mean, dude, number one,
Mike Ferry's kind of an older school, the way out of business. Like, I don't see his company growing like I see his son's company growing, like I see your company growing, like I see, I mean, even Keller Williams Maps Coaching. I mean, every other coaching industry company seems to be growing much faster than Mike Ferry organization now. What do you think that is?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know, dude. I mean, the reality is he's the most successful real estate coach that's ever existed.
It's true.
Yeah, I was hanging out with, I don't know if this is legit. I'm not going to name drop the other coach that I was recently hanging out with, but one of my buddies is one of those big name coaches out there. And he dropped a comment or something like, the dude's net worth is like 200 million at this point, you know, and I don't know if that's fucking true or not, but I'm like, you know, it wouldn't surprise me either, you know, right? So, I mean, the dude's what? He's in his 70s.
He's almost 80 years old, I think, isn't he?
So it's kind of the point. It's like David Lineker with Remax. Like, Remax isn't growing. You know, right? But Dave Lineker, he already built you get to a point, he already built the most successful, most profitable real estate company on the world that exists. You know, you get to a point where you're just like, what the fuck else do I have to prove? Now I'm going to go enjoy my grandkids and my family and you know, so I don't know. I've never coached with a guy, so I don't know. But I'll tell you, even though I don't even know the guy, I love the hell out of the guy because I respect the shit out of what he's built. You know, right?
He's built the largest coaching company in real estate ever.
So I mean, why doesn't he adapt? In my opinion, it has nothing to do with that he can't. It has nothing to do with that he's not smart enough or good enough, or I just think that shit, dude. Like,
what's the point?
Where,
I don't know if this is true or not, but I would suspect that he probably was a major investor in Tom Ferry's organization, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so let Tom Ferry grow the world. You know what I mean? The new world. I mean, he's bringing in social media. He's bringing in, you know, podcasts. He's bringing in. I mean, you think about technology, Josh. The agents that are not staying ahead with technology are going, and entrepreneurs in general. If you can't figure out technology and be engaged with it and enrolled with it, you're going out of business, wouldn't you think?
Yep. Yeah. No. If you're not growing, you're dying, right? So you got to stay on top of this stuff, and that's so much of my day, right? Is just, I mean, dude, like. I mean, I have a private Facebook coach. I have, you know, I mean, I'm constantly just trying to stay on top of that. And I also allocate several $1,000s a month that I can just piss away on all these new tech fronts and trying different things and see what works, you know, right? And so we have the boot camp where it's able to do that. But then I'm doing the boot camp, dude. And then I'm finding, you know, these agents like, well, Josh, I want to do what you do, but I can't afford Boomtown or Conversion or whatever. So that's what spawned and created our software company, you know, right? And again, so like all these businesses, all these different ventures that I have, I mean, number one, I wait for demand to come to me with them. You know, and number two, I mean, the alignment has to be right. I never go out there and create a business because I'm like, oh shit, let me go out there and create a business, right? It just happens out of demand that we see a massive need. in our hormone replacement therapy company that we're marketing affiliates, marketing partners on, if you will, and TRT Revolution. Same thing. I mean, we saw a massive need for it. We have personal massive demand for it. Dudes reaching out to us constantly for it. And it just made sense with the partnership with that. So I don't know where I guess I'm going with this, but that's the cool thing about this too, you guys, is what I love about real estate or any business, right? Dude, you none of this shit's fun. Right? Like a lot of people think, oh, those that are successful just love doing the things that I hate doing. They love cold calling or they love, no, we all hate it. We all hate it. The difference is successful people do the shit, whether they like it or hate it regardless. They just go out there and do it. Yeah. Colton's successful. He hates, I'm sure, no matter what I'm sure he hates getting on Mojo every day, all day long, but he's successful because regardless of his emotions, he does the damn work. Yep. Right? So, but if you choose to do that work, not listen to your emotions, if you solve your own problems and you push hard enough and show the rest of the world that you solved your problems, opportunities arise. People will pay you to help them solve their problems. And it just keeps opening up and opening up and opening up, dude. So you just stay focused. You keep grinding. The things that you hate doing too will pass. Like I haven't had to make a cold call in years. I have inside sales agents that are on the phone doing 1,200 dials a day. I do 0 calls. I haven't done a call or even a real estate transaction in a long damn time.
So we're running low on time, but I wanted to switch gears really quickly because you brought up AJ a little bit. He loves the idea of the 30-hour work week. You love the idea of the, what did you call it? The 80-hour grind or the 80-hour work week grind. And a lot of people want to know how you do that, but I want to know why you do that. Everyone wants to know the how, but why? Let's say you're 84 years old. You did it every single day. Why is that? What's it do for you?
So I mean, the how is easy. There's 168 hours a week. You just allocate how you want to allocate them. Then people are like, well, dude, you work 80 hours a week. Don't you want to see your kids? 168 hours a work week. If I sleep 6 hours a night, if I hit the gym 5 hours a day, I have 41 hours left over to hang out with my wife and my kids. And so I get very, very picky and choosy about how I utilize my team. I'm not hanging out, I'm not partying, I'm not watching the fucking game or the Olympics. I don't have TV in my house. Like none of that's important because I always think about that ultimate decision on our deathbed of what do we do with this gift called life that we were blessed with, right? So it's just getting clarity on what you want, dude. I mean, there's a few things about it. Number one, it's my obsession, right? So entrepreneurs get judged by devoting 80 or 100 hours a week to their love. If I was a professional basketball player, people are like, oh, good for you after going after your passion. LeBron James doesn't give shit. He didn't get shit by his grind, his focus. I get shit because I'm an entrepreneur. That's okay. But to me, that's what I feel like. I feel like I'm a professional athlete. I do what I fucking love. But I also do things that are not real estate. I love to snowboard. There's certain things that I go out there and do. I love skateboarding. I take my kids to skate park constantly. Spend an ungodly, I don't know anybody out there that spends more time with their wife and their kids than I do. And I get all this other shit done. So I don't like to travel. I don't like to fucking play golf, right? So I've got such clarity on what it is that I want. One of the purposes, though, that I have is I want to know with 100% full certainty that I did everything I possibly could to have the largest impact on people's lives that I possibly could, right? So some of this 80-hour or 100-hour work week grind that I do is a podcast like mine. And Colt, with these podcasts, what people don't see is all the shit that happens by acquiring a guest, then you got to put it all together. I mean, it's 20 hours a week of work. Last year in 2016, I spent over $40,000 of my own money traveling all over the United States and Canada speaking. I don't get paid to speak. A lot of people think I get paid all this money to go out there and speak. I didn't get paid shit. I do it because I want to go out there and have a positive impact and give back, right? So, just getting clarity on what you want, dude. But you asked the right question. You're 84 years old. You're on your deathbed. We're all going to have that internal conversation of what did you do with this gift called life? Did you piss it away or did you go out there and create something epic? So you got to get clarity on what you want. I'm always listening to myself, right? Like if I'm at a barbecue and it's kind of like painful to be there, I'm not enjoying it. The only way I can enjoy it is have a beer. Well, that's a fucking problem. Right? That means that I'm not enjoying that environment. I'm not enjoying the lack of non-growth that's happening there or whatever. So start listening to your own internal self. Quit comparing yourself to other people and figure out what do you want to do? I don't do shit that I don't want to do. Now, when I say that, of course I go to work. Like right now I'm having to write out 5 years worth of drip campaigns. that fucking sucks. I don't want to do that. That's when I get this podcast. That's that's this week's project, right? That's not fun. I don't want to do that, right? But when it comes to, so there's things that we got to do that we don't want to do, however, especially when it comes to like my outside, my personal, my social life, I do nothing that I don't like. If I'm not answering hell yes, I want to do that, I say no. And I've gotten so damn good at saying no, what to say yes to and what to say no to. And I just don't deviate from it.
So what I derived out of that is you just want to impact as many human beings' lives as possible. Like before you die, you just want to, how can I create value for others? And I think one of the ways that I've learned is you end up, you have to kind of measure that, right? You can't, and monetarily is a way to measure how you're impacting other human beings' lives and getting it out there. So at the end of the day, you just want to impact the world. Right.
Yeah. I mean, the money for me, I mean, people think you agree, whatever. And I always say that question is, what is enough? Well, it's never about the money. It's all a game. I'm just about growth. Like, okay, I did X, let's get to the next level. It's never about the money, right? So, and a lot of people don't get that and grasp that. However, dude, like we have little kids. Our kids aren't gonna be able to go to college and get a good job. Like we have to be very, very diligent on creating our own family economies and figure out what that looks like for generations to come. Because the game economically has changed forever. There's going to be no more middle class for the rest of it's just gone. And it happened by accident through the industrial age, and it's getting wiped out and will be gone. So what does that look like? Thinking big picture with that stuff. But I also don't want to kid people in thinking that like I'm some saint. And I do all this stuff because I'm not Mother Teresa, right? No. Like I do a lot of this. So when I say, well, why do I go out there and have such a positive impact on people's lives? Because it's. I mean, I love doing it, and a lot of it's for selfish reasons. That's when I feel at my best. I know when I feel at my best, 100%, like the most satisfied and fulfilled internally is when I'm taking care of my health and I'm in great shape, and when I know I'm having a positive impact on other people's lives. Like when I get I blow up with 20 plus messages a day between email, Facebook, whatever, of people how I've helped them through rough times and changing their lives. Those are no greater feelings. Sex, money, nothing compares to those two things for me in my world. Yeah. So I do it to give back, but I also do it for a very selfish reason because it makes me very, very fulfilled internally.
Sweet, man. We are over time, 3 minutes. So let's go ahead and wrap it up. You guys can go ahead and check out Josh on his website, GSDmode. He's all over Facebook. He's all over the World Wide Web. So if you haven't found him somewhere, you're probably living in a hole. I don't know what you're doing, but connect with him. He's a good dude. He's taught me so much about, just becoming a better person and business entrepreneur. So I appreciate that. Check out fearlessagent.com. You've got the information in the description there. There's a free webinar there, a free coaching platform that's going to show you the 5 presentations you must know to succeed in this real estate world. And then also check out Mojo Sales. It's the CRM that I use. I would not recommend anything else if you want to level up and have a dialer involved with it. Hey, thank you so much for being on, and we'll see you guys soon.